Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Aini Nanda Alifkha from PBI-A. In this video, I will explain about my answer for several questions. Number 1. Hanania and Gretman, 1977, conducted research showing the process of adult language acquisition. What do you know of the researcher, and what do you think about the research report if it's connected to your own experience as a second learner?
That I know about Hanania and Gretman's research on the process of adult language acquisition. Their research conducted a longitudinal study about the process of language acquisition in a 19-year-old girl named Fatma, who was a native Arabic speaker and had to learn English as her second language in the United States. The study showed that Fatma initially could only produce English using memorized expression without understanding the meaning of each word. Over time, she developed her ability to create more complex synthetic structures by using the language elements she learned and applying them creatively to fit social contexts. As explained by Cairns, this research highlights the importance of routines as a foundation to build language patterns, which are later used creativity. In my opinion about this study, I feel that this study is related to my experience as a second learner. At first, I also memorized common phrases or expression without deeply understanding the meaning of every word. However, with more exposure to English through interaction, media, and formal learning, I began to understand language patterns and use them creatively according to my needs. Routines, as mentioned in this study, such as listening, reading, and speaking exercise, really help form a strong foundation. The language pattern learned in the class help to use English more flexibility and productively. The combination of routine and creativity, as relevant in this study, is the key to success in in a second language acquisition.
Number 2. Ellis R. 1997 emphasizes that the computational model explains three stages that occur in human mind when acquiring language. What do you know of the models? And explain your answer in detail and support with examples.
Alice R. explained the process of second language learning in adult using computational model with three main stages. This model shows how the human mind processes information starting from input to producing verbal output. Here is a simple explanation of the three stages with examples. First is input stage, intake stored in the short-term memory. In this first stage, a person receives language input by listening, reading, or through verbal interaction. This input includes words, phrases, or language patterns that are important and are absorbed as intake. This intake is stored temporarily in the short-term memory for further processing. For example, when a second learner hears the phrases "How are you?" for the first time, they store in their short-term memory as a meaningful unit used from greetings. The second is transformation to long-term memory. In this stage, the intake from short-term memory is processed more deeply through representation or contextual use. This process turns the intake into second language knowledge, which is stored in the long-term memory for future use. For example, after hearing and using the phrase "How are you?" many times in conversation, the second learner understands its meaning and saves it in the long-term memory as part of their language knowledge. And then the third is production of verbal output. The final stage is when the stored language knowledge in the long-term memory is used to produce verbal output. The person uses this ability to communicate actively by speaking or writing, usually based on the social context or situation. For example, when a second learner answered the greetings, "How are you?" with "I'm fine, thank you," it shows they have successfully assessed and used their language knowledge in verbal communication. This compositional model by Ellis highlights the importance of input, internal processing, and output stage in learning second language.
Number 3, according to Krashen 1982, adults will complete 5 stages of language development in the process of acquiring a second language. What do you know of the 5 stages, and what do you think about the stages if they are connected to your own experience as a second learner?
According to Catherine, the process of second language learning in adults involves 5 stages of language development, showing gradual improvement in language skills. The first is pre-production stage. In this early stage, learners are in the silent period. They focus on learning new vocabulary, practicing pronunciation, and understanding basic phonology and morphology. At this stage, learners usually know around 500 words and can only speak self-talk without real interaction. The second is early production stage. If in this stage, learner can use 1 or 2 word short phrases or simple sentences, although they are often ungrammatical vocabulary. Vocabulary grows to around 1,000 words, and learners mostly use the language for listening and speaking. The next is speech emergence stage. This stage is marked by an increase in vocabulary to around 3,000 words. The learners can form short sentences, ask questions, and use the language more actively, though grammar mistakes are still common. They also start using the second language for reading and writing. The next is intermediate fluency stage. After about 1 year of learning, learners can use around 6,000 words and start building complex sentences. They can express opinions and arguments, but grammar mistakes still occur. The next is advanced fluency stage. In this stage, learners achieve a fluency level close to native speaker. They can use complex sentences with very few mistakes, which are usually caused by psychological factors like tiredness. My opinion as a second learner English, based on these stages, I feel that I'm currently between the speech emergence and intermediate fluency stages. When I started learning English in elementary school and high school, I spent most of time in listening, writing, and memorizing basic vocabulary like numbers, days, and colors. I could also form simple sentences and use simple phrases like "I'm fine." This shows that I went through the pre-production, early production, and speech emergence stages during that time. However, in the intermediate fluency stage, I feel some challenges. Although I can understand what speakers are saying, I find it difficult to speak fluency during discussion. I often check the dictionary first to make sure my language is correct. My lack of confidence and vocabulary fear of making mistakes is still hold me back from speaking. As for the advanced fluency stage, I have not reached this stage yet. Even though I can understand conversation in English, I still feel less confident in expressing my ideas verbally. This shows that I still need to improve my skills to reach full fluency. In conclusion, my progress reflects just stages explained by Karens. With more effort, I believe I can move to the next stage.
I think that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.